A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That's how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but still we race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean. There's no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. We already see the lowest average speeds of the season here at the Circuit de Monaco, and they'll be even lower in the difficult conditions today. 19 corners make up this famous 2-mile track, and with the rain, it'll be even harder than usual to get the critical heat into the tyres. So don't be surprised if we see a safety car at some point during today's Grand Prix. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position. And Andrea Kimi Antonelli completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Norris, Piastri, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Verstappen, Alonso, Gasly, Hadjar, and Charles Leclerc, Behrman, Lawson, Alex Albon, and Bottas, Ocon, Bortoletto, Arvid Lindblad, and Carlos Sainz, Hülkenberg, Perez, Stroll, and Franco Colapinto rounds off the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And alongside me, a man, well, what more can I say? But he's a legend. Anthony Davidson. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Okay, give me a quick radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
Right, let's see if we can push for another points finish in this race. Good luck. Decent parking. Let's try and get a good launch as the lights go out. Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed. Be ready with the clutch. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 8.4 seconds. Okay, you're doing well out there, keep it up. We're looking at about 10 more minutes of rain, 10 minutes. We're still happy that we're on the right tyres at the moment. Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. Okay, Max, we've got some clear track around us now, so let's use it and make this next lap a quick one. Let's go. Oh, great stuff. You hit that target. Really good job. Okay, looks like some of those puddles are clearing. We're still definitely on the right tyre for the time being, but we're probably not a million miles away from slick conditions. Gap to your teammate behind, 11.6 seconds. Okay, I think the track's going to be drying out quite soon. Be careful you don't burn out your tyres. Continue to cut corners, the stewards are going to give you a penalty. Be careful. tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. Weather's changing now, we're going to have to change strategy, so it's time to box. Copy. Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap. Okay, go, go, go! Perfect job from you and the crew there, mate. We're delighted with that. Isaac's in the pits. That's Isaac in the pits. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go. Okay, Max, that's Hulkenberg behind. It is critical for our race that we keep them behind, please. Gap to the car in front, 15.8 seconds. Good work, we're in P4. The distance to the leader, 22.6 seconds. Lando's ahead of you now. Okay, gap ahead, 15.8 seconds. Gasly's behind you. Look after these tyres now, we want to finish the race on this compound. Alright, 6 laps to go now. to racing conditions, boost and straight mode re-enabled. Car behind you's just come in for the hard tyres. Car behind running hard tyres. Okay, the McLaren driver's ahead of you. Lando ahead. Yes, mate, we hit the target. Nice work. Okay, gap to the car in front, 14.6 seconds. They're on old intermediates. Their tyres are 16 laps old. Time last lap, 1:24.0. The car behind is dropping back by about 0.3 a lap. Well done. Good job, that was the fastest lap of the race so far. Tyre condition still looking good. Okay, you've just started the final lap of the race. Final lap. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 17.4 seconds. Okay, gap to the car ahead, 6.0 seconds. And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
That's what it is. We're just too slow, so it's impossible to keep them behind.